The tension in the courtroom was thick as Karoline Leavitt stood at the defendant's table, her posture unshaken despite the scornful glare of Judge Morrison. The seasoned judge tapped his gavel, his expression filled with disapproval. "Miss Leavitt, this court does not entertain unnecessary theatrics. You have been fined for contempt," he announced, his voice echoing through the packed chamber. A murmur spread among the spectators. Karoline, unbothered, simply raised an eyebrow. "Your Honor, would you kindly clarify the exact grounds for this fine?" she asked, her voice measured. Judge Morrison smirked. "You were warned not to interrupt, yet you persisted in questioning my ruling." Karoline remained poised. "So, my offense was defending my client's rights?" The judge's smirk faded. The prosecutor, sensing an advantage, leaned forward. "Your Honor, let's not be distracted. The fine stands." But Karoline wasn't finished. "Actually, Your Honor, I believe this fine violates judicial procedure," she stated, her words sending a ripple of curiosity through the room. Judge Morrison's face darkened. "Are you questioning my authority?" he challenged. Karoline Leavitt didn't flinch. "Not your authority, Your Honor, just your application of the law." A hushed gasp spread across the courtroom. The prosecutor chuckled. "Miss Leavitt, perhaps you need a refresher on court decorum." But Karoline was already flipping through her casebook. According to Section 324 of Judicial Conduct, a judge cannot issue a contempt fine without a clear and present disruption to the proceedings. She looked up, eyes sharp. "I merely asked for clarification. Did my question disrupt the trial?" The judge's fingers tightened on his gavel. He knew she was right, but his pride refused to acknowledge it. The spectators leaned in, waiting for his response. "This is irrelevant," the judge snapped. But Karoline wasn't done. "Irrelevant? Or inconvenient?" She turned to the clerk. "May I request the transcript of this session?" The courtroom had shifted. No longer was Karoline just another attorney, she was controlling the entire room. Judge Morrison shifted in his seat, his confidence cracking. Karoline Leavitt continued, "Let's consider precedent, Johnson v. State, where the Supreme Court overturned an unjust contempt ruling due to lack of due process." The prosecutor's smirk vanished. "Miss Leavitt," he said, voice strained, "this is unnecessary." But Karoline pressed on. "Your Honor, do you wish to proceed with the fine despite knowing it contradicts legal precedent?" The judge's face flushed. He had assumed Karoline would fold under pressure, but instead, she had backed him into a corner. A few jurors exchanged glances. The court reporter looked between the judge and Karoline, unsure of what would happen next. Then, something unexpected happened. A man in the gallery stood up.
"Subscribe to my channel."
"Your Honor, I was fined the same way last year," he called out. Another voice chimed in. "And me. This isn't the first time you've done this." The room buzzed with murmurs. Karoline had not only defended herself, she had unearthed something far bigger. The judge slammed his gavel. "Order. This is my courtroom." But the damage was done. Karoline Leavitt turned to the judge, her expression unwavering. "Your Honor, it seems I'm not the only one questioning your use of fines." The prosecutor whispered furiously to the judge, but Morrison raised a hand to silence him. His reputation was now on the line. If he upheld the fine, he would confirm the accusations against him. If he rescinded it, he would admit fault. "Miss Leavitt," he finally said, voice tight, "I will reconsider my ruling." Karoline didn't smirk, didn't gloat, she simply nodded. "I appreciate your fairness, Your Honor." But the courtroom wasn't done with him yet. A reporter in the back raised his hand. "Your Honor, if you've wrongly fined others in the past, will those cases also be reviewed?" The judge's jaw clenched. What had started as a simple fine against Karoline had now unraveled into a much bigger issue. By the next morning, news outlets were flooded with headlines, Judge Morrison's questionable rulings under scrutiny, and Karoline Leavitt exposes courtroom injustice. The judge was forced to issue a statement announcing a full review of past fines. Karoline Leavitt, meanwhile, walked out of court without paying a single cent. But it wasn't just about avoiding a fine, it was about holding power accountable. As she stepped outside, a young law student approached her. "Miss Leavitt, that was incredible. You proved that knowledge of the law is more powerful than fear." Karoline smiled. "Remember that. Never let intimidation silence you." The student nodded, inspired. The video of the trial went viral, proving one thing, **** you don't need to break the rules to challenge them. You just need to know them better than those in charge. ***, where are you watching from? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more powerful stories like this, subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated. Rocket.